Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Bonga Dada Bonga. Bonga Dada Bonga is a platform for women's voices, and I am correspondent Dashanaba King, along with show anchor Teresa Kemp, who is in studio tonight. That's right. We often bring on other professionals as show anchors and co anchors, featuring an exciting roster of guests. Our stand in co anchor, expert health and wellness professional from the Republic of Panama. Our birthday girl, Coach Rakaya Murphy, is still out and about. We'll see her when she comes back into the studio. Tonight on Bonga Dada Bonga, we speak to what's special about the month of July. And we have a treat for your ears tonight from a very exciting author. And that same author is going to tell you something about the people who helped the community to give her the name of Walking Encyclopedia. Nana.
Yes. Greetings. How are you all? I'm very excited to be here with her on Bunga Dada Bunga and greet you all. I'm in Columbus, Ohio, and one of the many things I do is martial arts. So I just ran out of the karate studio because we have 25 kids in there taking class from a guest daycare center. So I'm just a little bit sweaty. And
Okay.
as she mentioned, Rakaya, she's in San Diego today, and she said it's cold. I am in Columbus, Ohio, in the United States, and it is almost 90 degrees now. The weather has flip-flopped. So happy July. And
happy July. Over here in Kenya, let me say that
yes,
we're in the winter season.
Okay.
And I'm just going to have to say it's a lot chillier than it used to be. And I've been noticing on the news how that they're letting us know that because of global warming, things are changing.
Yes.
It is chilly. I don't want to use the word cold because the coldness in Kenya is not like the coldness in America. So I don't want you to think it's like that. It's not. But it requires a heavy sweater.
Well, I'd like to give some shout outs to our social media followers. And we'd like you to go into our comment section, tell us where you're watching our show from today, like, comment, and share. And also let us know who would you like to see on Bunga Dada Bunga and what topics are at the forefront in your community. There is so much going on all over the world, but we're often wondering what's going on where you are because this is an international program. Aha! I just adjusted my volume because I didn't get to come on and do my sound check. So hopefully you all can hear us really well. If not, put it in the comments and let us know. So I'd like to give a shout out to Jeanette Lee, Karen, Jacqueline, Musab, Chantel, Bobby, Lucy, Tali, Emmanuel, Havali, Tazim, Temperance, Sharon, Carl, Willie Butler. We have missed you from the Sankofa.
Yes, we have. We've missed Dr. Butler.
Absolutely. So we're talking about scholarly people and scholarly men today and courage. And Dr. Ari came up with the most wonderful thing on courage that she shared with me. But I'm happy to be back on the show. And
we're happy to have you
back to you all to give you a really a private look behind the curtains so that you can find a mentor or you can mentor somebody to share your knowledge and information with the way people have taken me under their wing and shared with me so that I can continue to teach delayed gratification and reconciliation skills. So back to you, Dr. Ari.
Thank you very much. So now we just want to speak a little bit about what this platform is. It is a platform for women's voices. It's a site, point, a space that really strives to amplify the voices of women and survivors who have been historically silenced. Let me just speak on that for a moment. Living in various African countries over the past 25 years, I will say to you that my experience of many of the African women, regardless of the country where they may live, they have a different demeanor than that of the African American woman. And so we, like they, were once very silent too. But we got to a point where we decided we had to speak up and speak out. Okay. And that's what a lot of the women did when this platform was first created during Kenya's 2023 election. So Bonga Dada Bonga actually joins a growing list of service organizations and supporters of women causes in countries all across North America, in Latin America, the Pacific Rim, and of course, Africa. You'll hear phenomenal, extraordinary, even some heartbreaking stories sometime. Some of the most courageous, powerful, and inspiring women. We also bring on girls and we also bring on men. Bonga Dada Bonga is a show that loves and also brings in the men. So you're going to meet some of the most exciting people you've ever met as they come on the show and begin to tell you their story. Now, each and every one of them is a superhero in our book, each and every one of them. So we're honored and we're proud to share their colorful biographies, their experiences, their narratives, their testimonies, and their stories. We are happy to share with you, just like we will be sharing tonight. Nana.
Well, on our show, Queen Mother Speaks, we are celebrating our anniversary month.
Bonga Dada Bonga.
I know, but I wanted the viewing audience to know that you and I have been doing this type of platform for this going into our 4th year, and Bonga Dada Bonga didn't come about until the Kenyan election because Daktari, who is my best friend, former boss, she was going to be in Kenya this time for the election. And many people don't know that it's actually been extremely violent in the past years. This year was better, but the women were even afraid to speak out against the people who had beaten them, robbed, raped, and many were killed, including the UN poll watchers. So we felt we had to do something.
Had to do something.
And even though we weren't sure of so many things, we forged ahead. We forged ahead to create the platform, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and then get list of women. And to our surprise, unlike the United States election, there were 5,000 women running for office. And then I was absolutely shocked to find out that once they spent all this money and time and sacrifice for the election, that some of the offices that they are achieving don't even have a budget. They have no budget, no money once they even get in office. So one of our goals with Bonga Dada Bonga and other organizations we've met is to train the next elections series of women to run so that they have a war chest. Now in America, a war chest means monies that you have put up or raised for your campaign expenses. And you cannot run if you don't have any money. So many of the women there in Kenya were running for office without a lot of money. And
without a war chest.
Yes. And since our show is in and no experience and nobody but friends to help them. So if you, no matter where you are in the world, realize that you can make a difference. Set a goal, write it down, and find out who the opposition is, who the competition is, who possible allies are. Do your homework, do your research, but don't sit silent. So in this anniversary month, which she and I are in for Queen Mother Speaks, which is our show that airs on Wednesdays, live at 5 in Kenya, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time in my time zone. We'd also like to invite you to tune into that show, but there's plenty of ways to mark an occasion, and that's what we want to do. We want to celebrate the women, the men, and children of Kenya and our worldwide viewing audience, because we truly do have an international community here. And so we do want to speak to some of the things that are going on where they are, because there's so many weather events, catastrophes, but we come together as friends to have you laugh, celebrate that friendship, celebrate perseverance, fortitude, an indomitable spirit, and get courage. We're admonishing you to be courageous.
Okay.
Yes. So Queen Mom, I'm going to come back to you.
Okay, thank you. And I'll begin to talk about how the Bonga Dada Bonga show works. We've explained to you how it got started, but how it works is we have various women in leadership roles and influencers who will moderate as anchors and co-anchors on the Bonga Dada Bonga show. We do host and co-host on Queen Mother Speaks, but over here we do anchors and co-anchors. Okay, so what happens is they interview our show guest and they speak to the news events and they address the current state of affairs and whatever's trending. So the co-hosts are from a very colorful spectrum of journalists or campaign managers, activists, politicians, political analysts, women organizations, scientists, publicists, educators, whomever they may be. They deliver opinions, commentary, and analysis on the matter at hand. Please note that many of the commentaries are not necessarily the express points of view of Bonga
All
Dada
right, good
Bonga,
job today.
but of the person who, in fact, is on the show and hosting the show for that day. Okay.
What's that name again?
Well, now,
Teresa R. Kemp.
okay, let me
Teresa R. Kemp.
try to mute that mic. Okay. Well, women often feel invisible. They've stated that themselves, and they often feel overlooked in the workplace. Women also will deliver their comments, I want you to know, on artificial intelligence, women in the digital space. The Pope now is even allowing women to vote. The Pope is dealing with women who are having gambling, who are now seen as gambling addicts. Well, we'll hear about all of these stories in the news. So we use social media on Bonga Dada Bonga so that we can spread the awareness of issues that are affecting women. We create the platform for them, for their voices to be heard, and we want to inspire them. We want to empower women to take action, And one way to harness the power of social media is for female empowerment to use social media to share their stories. That is, in fact, what we're doing. We're sharing our resources and our tips for success. So we're going to hear a little bit right now about highlights on the month of July. Nana? Unmute.
There we go. Thank you. So I'm inside the Rick Moore Academy, where I have trained under Master Moore for more than 45 years. So you all get a quick peek at where I have spent much of my life. I'm actually a 5-time world champion. So the last class is leaving. This is a part of my life Queen Mother has not seen a whole lot of, but
No,
I do karate. Yep. And so we have some of our brown belts that are here, Jack, and we have Asa, and they're heading out because they helped teach the last class. So we have the mirrors so you can see I'm in a large space, and I actually have my karate shirt on. I am a 4th degree black belt, a master in Shanru karate.
Okay.
So I knew that she hadn't seen this part of my life.
I haven't seen this part of your life, sis, and I want to know more about it. I definitely want to know more about this part of your life.
I know.
And I want to know what all of these black belts, what these things mean. But anyway, back to you.
I'm actually a weapons champion, and we have weapons all around the walls, and we have all the different belts. And I'm 66 years old, and I'm a 5-time world champion, and I'm supposed to go for my 6th world champion this year, but I had a surgery in March. So then every time I fall apart, I come back and my coach gets me together and picks me up, and I'm actually getting ready to compete, but I'll take kids to a tournament. But the reason I mentioned it is because the Karate Association in Kenya has invited me to come and compete when I visit Queen Mother Dashanaba
Yes,
in Nairobi.
yes,
Yes.
indeed.
So I have accepted that invitation because it's not often that they get an American world champion. And I've dropped 50 pounds and I have 30 more to go to get back to my fighting weight of 45 years ago. But
Wow.
it keeps us young, it keeps us active, and it
Mhm.
keeps us healthy. And every day you cannot be your best, but you can do your best every day. And that's what
There
I
you go.
strive to do.
Say that again. Say that
Okay.
again.
I'm not the best that I have been every day, but
Mhm.
I can be the best today that I can be. And
Yes.
that I set a new standard every day of excellence.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
have to push myself to be excellent. And so one of the things that we're talking about today on the Queen Mother Speak Show is that I have had people in my life who have encouraged and mentored and fostered that excellence. So even though some days I don't want to be excellent, I don't want to be a mover and a shaker, I don't want to be
Mhm.
a world champion, I don't want to be the super mom. And it was so funny. Yesterday, I sent my children a mama kangaroo, and she's looking into her pouch, and she says, "Okay, if you don't be quiet in there, I'm gonna come in there and get you." Now,
Ooh.
my children, I wanted them to go to bed because I had to get up and work, and I had to get up and, get myself together. But then I thought about the mother kangaroo who has to carry the babies all of the time, 24
Mm.
hours a day. And
Mm.
no matter what situation you find yourself in, there's always somebody who has to do a little bit more, and they don't complain, they don't fuss, they don't shrink back from the challenges. So today on Bunga Dada Bunga, I want to encourage you not to shrink back, but to look at your life, set your goals for the year, go back and revisit your New Year's resolutions if you make them, write them down, and do something every day towards achieving them. Dr.
Mhm.
is very good at
Even if it's just reading it,
yeah,
even just reading what that resolution is.
yes. So she is very good, and often we push each other on to excellence
Yeah.
because she's very good at hydrating. And she has set herself a time schedule. I think it's 8, 11, 2, and 5. Okay. Where she
Yes.
hydrates. And I was reading that today in one of my, she's about 34 years old. She went to the hospital with heart issues. So again, she needs to hydrate. You got to give your body what it needs, like a car
Mhm.
and gasoline. And I told
Right.
her, I feel I only need to sleep 3 hours a night.
Mm.
But over the years, my heart has said, no, you need 6 hours or I'm going to act up. So I've had
Ah.
to learn how to, it's acted up. I've had
Yeah.
congestive heart failure, but I've had to learn how to rest. And so my mentors, as powerful of men as they are, two of them have had, well, I thought two of them had had a stroke. They said Dr. Anna Quincy was paralyzed from the chest down, and
Mhm.
he's now up and walking. Dr. Njoku, he also had a stroke, and by the grace of God, he's up and walking. So those two
Mhm.
are in America, though they're both from Nigeria. And
Mhm.
today, the women who ran for politics in Kenya, they have to pace themselves. They have to go with family, they have to do their jobs, and then they have to study and figure their platforms out.
Mhm.
We, on the show, we had the Policemen's Wives Association. There
Mhm.
are 80,000 police wives or mates in Kenya.
Who are widows?
Ooh, yes, some of them are widows.
No,
That
no.
is
The organization is the Police Women's
widows?
Widows Organization.
I did not know they were widows.
They're
So,
widows, all of them.
so we talked about
Whether
with them
they're widows or their husbands have been injured
in the line of
on
duty.
duty. Right.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. But the majority are widows.
Well, what I'm going to do is go get this information to share as a special gift for our viewers today, because with them, I didn't understand that they were widows. I knew some of them were widows, but I didn't understand that the association was a support group for women who have had
Right.
that issue. Wow.
Right.
Okay, so on the screen now, I've put Blissipin. Blissipin is a friend of ours who does health and wellness, but practices that strengthen your ability to weather challenges. And this is a link that offers a free week, and it helps you learn to control your emotions. Sometimes you just wake up and want to cry, and you don't know why. And it could be, I mean, you just don't know why. Everything seems okay, but it's not okay on the inside of you. And the one thing I like about Dr. Ari is she and I have maintained our friendship. She's a person that I can call up and talk to about anything. And that's what we want to be for you today. No matter where in the world you are, we love you and we want to hear from you and hear about topics that affect you, because we try to inspire you, because there's so many great women. She's a great woman. No matter what's going on in her life, she perseveres. And she's gone through some historic events, feeling like sometimes she wasn't enough. But she is. And you have to be. So we want to inspire you on to great things. And we hope you'll take advantage. So write down the link that's on the bottom of your screen. So now to get back on track. That's what I love about
all of these are our tracks.
Yes.
And we track them the way we track them. So go right ahead, madam. And where we were at really was on slide number 5, talking about highlights for this show. And we were just going to bring out a few points about the month of July. Go ahead, Nana.
Okay. So one thing that fascinated me about the month of July is it's so many things to so many people. But this month is a celebration of people with disability who feel they have alternative genders. So it is the People with Disabilities Pride Month. It is also a mental health month. And in our community in America, mental health is something that we have not talked about. And we have a lot of stuff set up here in America for mental health issues, but it's a stigma or something associated with that prevents people, particularly men and women and children, from asking for help. There's so many things going on to celebrate this. Last month, what I did was I participated in a transatlantic slave trade round table where we were discussing the mental trauma that people are still experiencing from their ancestors having been in the transatlantic slave trade.
Wow.
The CDC is observing National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month this month in July.
Okay.
Now, our CDC, for those of you who are not from America, is our Center for Disease Control. And they are recognizing that minorities in America have more mental health issues that go unrecognized. And we see that both in racial and ethnic minority groups, as well as the mainstream. There is no group that can claim mental health. And July is also Men's Mental Health Month. I met a young lady, Dr. Ari, and she was saying that people have been encouraging her to leave her husband. And what I asked her is, she said he had been unfaithful. And that has experience that's common to people around the world. And she said she's had trouble trusting him again. And he's a great father. And he's a great husband and provider. So I asked her, I said, what have you done? What activities have you done to rebuild trust between you? What activities do you do? Do you have date night? Do you sit and look into one another's eyes? Do you have physical touch and contact each day? And she said, no, I haven't done anything. I said, then how do you think you're going to rebuild trust if you haven't done anything to rebuild trust? And then you spend much of your time apart. That's not going to rebuild trust. Though when he's apart from her, he's with the kid. So I was telling her that many of my friends now don't have good relationships with their children because they left the father, and the children somehow feel it's their fault when it's not at all.
Mm.
Many of us don't know how to communicate and don't work at a marriage or a relationship with whoever it is. And so this is a month where you can reach out, Google mental health for whichever group you want. I have friends whose children have committed suicide in their home. And my friend Janice, her daughter was 41 years old, seemed happy, smart, brilliant, educated, and committed suicide when she came to visit her mom. She went back home to die. And dealing with death, learning how to grieve is something that I've noticed in America and other countries. We don't have a set way or a set time in which to do that.
No, we don't.
We don't know how to do that. So when I was in Germany, they taught us, I was a widow at 20. So I was too young, but there's a progression from navy blue, brown, gray, and black, or gray, blue, then black, that people wear. And in African countries, some women wear blue when they're a bride, some wear blue when they're mourning a death, some wear red, some wear, if it's an elder, you wear white. So it varies around the world, but other societies and cultures have a system. So I'm encouraging you this month to reach out in some capacity for whatever it is that you need. Whatever it is you need. I told someone today on Facebook, self-care is not selfish. I'll say that again.
Beautiful.
Self-care is not selfish, because you're going to find that if you're ill, nothing is working. Your family doesn't work, the house doesn't run right. And Queen Mother, I was sent a white rose last night by my daughter's employer. He was so happy that I'm here to babysit where she can come back to work. He's saying his business is not going to go under.
Wow.
Aha.
That's exciting.
So I just noticed, Queen Mother, that my coach is off the phone. So I'd like to sneak over there.
Okay.
Master Moore, let me head that way.
Go right ahead.
Master Moore,
Ladies
I'm
and
coming
gentlemen,
to you.
this is
I'm on television live.
Adezewa, also known as Teresa Kemp. And
Yes.
she's explained to you that she is a professional karate champion.
That's true.
And right now, she's taking us over to meet her coach, who is in the house today. Hello, Coach.
Hello, how are you?
I am well. I am wonderful. And it's my joy to meet you. Do you know I've been hearing about you over the years?
Yes, ma'am.
I've been hearing about you.
I've been around a long time.
Very good.
I have me a champion here that's been with me
47 years.
47 years, and
wow,
we just keep going.
Well, wait a minute. Let me back up and make sure I got this right. You've been training her for 47 years.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
I don't know very much about this part of her life.
That's why
I know that she does that, but I don't know very much about it. But I really would like for us to go into depth one day, Coach, about this karate work and why other women should consider taking it on, whether they become a champion or not, but why they should consider taking it on. The only other woman that I knew personally that was into karate was one by the name of Khalila Ali.
Yes.
She just happened to have been the wife of Muhammad Ali.
Yes, I know her.
And I was fortunate in that I got to meet her. And basically what I knew about karate was from her. I met her during the time we were in Zaire for the Ali Foreman fight in Kinshasa, Zaire, 1974. It is now called Democratic Republic of the Congo. Okay, and she's the only black belt I knew about. And now here, my dear friend is also a black belt. So we want to have a show, Coach, with your permission, about what it takes to become a black belt and why women should do it.
Well, he's brought me back from the dead several times. And I keep coming back to Columbus, Ohio. And then I come here to the dojo, and sometimes I end up sitting in a chair working out because I can't stand. And when I was given 3 weeks to live. I went to Atlanta, Georgia, and the doctors then gave me medicines and worked with my heart and told me that I was leaking blood from my heart. Every step I took, the flap on my heart, my left ventricle wasn't closing correctly. So blood is leaking out every time I walked or took a step. So then they gave me 6 weeks to live. So then I decided, okay, I'm going to die here because we're going to eat food we're not supposed to eat. We're going to go visit he has over 500 black belts that he's promoted. He is a Hanchi, which is a 10th degree black belt. You know, it's hard for you to sit and listen to your accolades, right? But he's been at it.
I've got poor ears because I don't understand what a lot of what you're telling me about the coach means.
Right. Well, he's one of my mentors. And you know, here in the dojo, it's really interesting because it says on the wall, self-discipline, self-confidence, self-control, self-respect, perseverance, modesty, courtesy, integrity, and an indomitable spirit that you heard me mention today. So he's instilled all those qualities in us and fought for us to have and exemplify those qualities. So then on this other wall, it says, do not use the 4-letter word can't. You have to try. You can't say can't. And then there is one that said, mind like water. So this time I was looking around, there were other black belts here. And I said, I have mastered those over there, but this mind like moon.
Mind like what?
There's one that says mind like water. And I said, okay, I'm flexible. I'm pretty fluid. I can roll with the punches. And you've learned to do that too, because we used to stress out if the Wi-Fi went down, the power went out, we can't do the show. And people are waiting to tune in. So then we've learned to roll with the punches. So we're like water.
That's right.
We just fill the gaps, go where we can. And if we can't, we're not going to stress it. But then he has this one up here that says mind like moon. Okay, so I'm going to let him tell you about that real quick because that's where you are, Queen Mother.
Okay.
This is
mind like moon, MOON.
Yes.
It's like you're at peace with yourself and the world. This is what we have to do. We distill in all our students to be at peace with themselves and the world. Best medicine or preventive medicine is exercise. It's the most significant factor contributing to the health of the individual. This is why we bring up young kids in this world, male, female, to get them ready for the outside world. I don't care if they can block, kick, or punch. I taught them self-discipline, self-confidence, self-control, self-respect, and the things that we got to do is keep our kids protected for the real world, so they have more responsibility. The women need to do this. I'm impressed when I see women use power because they don't think they have power. They do have power. So I instill in them and show them that they do have power and build their confidence. So they have to be consistent in what they're doing and believing what they're doing, and they will succeed. So
may I ask a question?
Yes.
So if a person has interest in learning about karate, I mean, is it like you go to the gym and you just work out?
You have a personal trainer. You have a personal trainer all the time, every time that you come into the dojo. In the gym, they work out with you about 1 or 2 weeks, and then you're on your own. When you come in the dojo, you have a personal trainer at all times, making sure you do one step at a time to succeed for your goals. Whether it's
so is the dojo this particular karate school that we're in right now?
Dojo is a training hall. People that come to train their mental and physical and spiritual well-being.
Okay.
So
how did you get that name?
What dojo? The dojo it's an old traditional name, training hall from Okinawa, Japan. So
Okay.
that's what we call, instead of saying we're going to the fitness place, we say that we're going to the dojo. So we have t-shirts that says, see you at the dojo. And people
Oh, I
understand
love
what
it.
that means. And also
Okay.
it makes people very inquisitive about what is a dojo. Oh, I'm
There
glad
you
you
go.
asked that question. And we give them a little pass and or environment as our buddy so they can work out with them. And everybody wants a buddy to work out with. They don't want to feel alone.
All right.
Build their
All right.
confidence and their spirit, their energy, their
Mhm.
power, and things like that. So the main thing is be consistent in what you're doing, and you can achieve your goals, no matter if it's karate or whatever it is. Our gratification is not seeing the kid or the things that they do in karate, but we see them that they changed their lives, better,
Mhm.
better students, better husbands and wives,
Okay.
doctors,
Okay.
engineers, things like that. When we see them change their lives, if we save one, we done our part. So I just want to bring that to your attention.
Now,
Okay.
Queen
Well,
Mother,
we
do you
love
see his
that.
shirt? Do you see what's on his shirt? It
Yes,
says
I do.
on.
Go ahead. On the
On
quest
a
to be
guest.
the best.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay. You come bring it up a little bit. On a quest
On the quest
to be the best.
Yeah.
On a quest
To
to
be
be
the
the
best.
best. On a
On the
quest
quest
to be
be
the
the
best.
best.
I
Not
love
only
it. I
be
love
the
it.
best at everything. So
Yeah.
I ask the kids that we see the report cards and everything. I give them rewards.
Yeah.
We do a lot of praising for a job well done. So we got to
Very
keep
good.
people.
Very
Kids strive
good.
for attention and adults strive for recognition. So we give them a lot of attention and adults and motivate these females and this is one thing that I think everybody should do. Take a
Okay.
self-defense course and learn how to swim.
Mm.
You never have to
Well,
worry about
I'm a Pisces by
Nancy,
birth,
say hi.
and I do love my water, and I do love swimming. But after a few incidents in the water, my confidence has changed.
Okay. Yeah, well,
I didn't
that's
say I will still try it, but I don't go as far.
there you go.
But I think if I had the opportunity to be with you, I would pull out all the stops.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
She's a great
Pull out
dancer,
all
great
the stops.
coordination.
This is a form of dance too.
It
With
is.
what you're doing, all the
Routines.
movements and everything, the routine, the flexibility, the balance,
Yeah.
the control, the focus, all work simultaneously.
How
So
can we find out? It's like I'm here, and yeah, I like to work out, and often I do it alone.
yeah,
And sometimes I don't go to the gym. I just walk on the streets.
very
How
good.
how do you get to bring into your world others who feel the same way? Every now and then I'll run into somebody while I'm walking, and they'll ask me, "Do you walk every day, or how often do you come here?" Seeking some form of camaraderie
Yes, you
or
just
someone to work with you.
you take your time doing basics or baby steps, we call it. And step by step. When you walk with some weights in your hand, you do your arms like that, and you can do them this way. It's basically called isometrics, but it keeps you moving. It keeps your body toned, firm, and fit, and it keeps your body from atrophy. So that
Okay.
you can continue on your walk, you can continue on your stretching for your balancing
Okay.
routine.
hmm
This as long as you can just do your hands like this. That's
Yeah.
isometrics.
Okay.
Press
Okay.
like this. There's many
hmm
different ways that you can keep your body toned, firm, and fit.
All right.
So, Queen
All
Mother,
right.
let me go
Yes.
ahead and make a suggestion. I will
Okay.
volunteer to teach some online self-defense classes because, as you know, I received the Lifetime Achievement Award June 23rd. And
Yeah.
I was recommended for that award because I taught self-defense classes in Trinidad and Tobago. My sponsor, Dr. Cynthia Thompson out of Chicago, Illinois, she has an organization called Girls in Geese. So we did online training for free for the women during COVID in Trinidad, Tobago, because they were being robbed, beaten up, raped, and killed for money. They still had their jobs, but the other people in their community did not. So I volunteered, and many other world champions also came over and trained. So this is where I've spent a lot of my time, and you got to meet one of my favorite people. Oh, I'm gonna go over here so I could show you this. And take a look what's in the background. That's an oil painting. Can you see it?
I see that it's oil. I can't make out who the face is.
It's his, Master Rick Moore. This is this huge oil painting behind me that one of the students did. And let's see if you can see him. I'm going to walk this way. Up on top, let's see how to do it. Here we go. Up on top behind me, you can see these pictures, sort of. These are all the black belts. Those are his degrees. He's a 10th degree black belt. But going all the way down on the wall to the other end, 2 rows, those are all pictures of black belts. And behind me, up on this end, we're getting to my picture. Oh, you can't see. Oh, there we go. So I'm on the top row of students up there. Let's see.
Okay, that's kind of far away for us. We see that it is pictures, and we see a row on the top and a row on the bottom, and it's a individual in each photo, but we cannot make out what it is.
Okay, so I'm one of his first 7 students years ago, black belts. And I'm still hanging in here today. And I'm going to sit down right here because I've had many different challenges in my life, as you know.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
We were talking today about the great people in our lives who are responsible. I'm sitting here trying to get the camp. There we go. Who are responsible for making me who I am. So with Master Moore, I actually speak Japanese. And our stylist from Okinawa, Japan. And I was promoted to a 4th degree black belt last year because I'm not good at being there to take my test. And I had competed professionally in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. That's what I needed to do, is look and see where is the camera.
There you go. Right in the center.
Yes, I'm sitting there trying to figure it out. But he's a great man, and he's a champion himself. And many people have heard the names Chuck Norris and Jim Kelly, and he's been in movies. He's been put in books. So I'm currently doing a book because there's not one source that talks about his entire life and all the names, all the students. So many of my teammates, there's only 2 of us left from my first class. So it's important to me that we documented the way I did Keeper of the Fire the same way for him, because often, since our style originates in Okinawa, Japan, and most of the masters, 10th degree masters, are from that place, there's not information on our school or him. So to honor him, I am doing a comprehensive lifetime achievement while he's alive. You don't want people to write about you when you're dead.
When you're gone.
When you're gone, you can't appreciate it. So he and
I have a recommendation, Nana.
Okay.
And first off, let me thank you for the offer that was made, and we'll continue to do that show, that training show right here on Bonga Dada Bonga. But I'm going to ask that we consider doing segments.
Okay.
And that you include the coach in some of them. Like, for example, let's say that you decide to do 5 3-minute segments for this season.
Okay.
And then you can decide in advance what you're going to train us on. You can let us know in advance what we will need in order to participate.
Nothing.
Like, no, he just talked about sometimes you can hold dumbbells.
Right. But no. I've lifted weights, but only because I did women's bodybuilding years ago. And I was a national champion in women's bodybuilding. At the same time, I was doing karate. I had been a professional dancer, so I had great flexibility and what we call turn out. but with karate, you turn in, and I wanted to build up the other side of my body to be flexible and strong. And so I was able to do that when I started training, because I thought that I was like superwoman. And he said, hold your leg out. And I had super strength one way, but then when he told me to turn my foot the other way, he just knocked my hand down. I mean, my leg down, my hand down. I mean, I felt like a baby. That's when I realized there was another part of strength in my body that I had not developed. And then, as you can see, he's a lot of fun. He's got the greatest sense of humor, and we laugh all the day long. And then he knows the very best eating places. So no matter what challenges I've had to have both hips replaced. I'm walking, no cane, no walker, no wheelchair. And today we passed a man in a wheelchair, and I said, it's so ironic that what you know, who you know, can totally change your life.
Indeed.
I've had cancer, congestive heart failure, both hips replaced. I've had the leaky heart valve. I've had short-term memory loss. And today I'm in my right mind under my own strength. And I thank and praise God for it. But laughter is a big key. We have to make our laugh.
Yes,
and you know, sometimes, audience, I call Dr. with my grandbabies, and then we turn into complete fools trying to make them laugh and smile. But it just improves how we feel about ourselves. So
and also enjoying the little one. So what we've agreed to doing this 13-week season, this is week 1. So there's 12 weeks left. You're going to select 5 of them. And then you can come on, let's say for 4 minutes, 5 times during the season, and show us whatever you're going to show us inside of karate. But we can carry it on like a conversation, Teresa, so that people can choose to come in for that session. And we can say Bonga Dada Bonga will live at 7 p.m. Nairobi time, and by 7:30 we will be into whatever you're going to call what's the name of the studio? The name.
For Academy.
No. The name that you guys have been using. That Bojangles or something.
Jojo. That's what my shirt says.
Come up with a catchy name, okay?
My shirt says, see you at the dojo.
Okay.
And listen, this is the part you had to see. Let's see if I can get it in the mirror. Well, I'm getting there. Almost.
Oh, the back.
The back of my shirt says Rick Moore Academy champion. I got my own champion, my own championship attire.
Boom.
Yep. And I'm a weapons champion. We have weapons. He's got a lot of weapons here. He's a weapons expert. And I mean, we pull out the old pictures, and we've been sitting up here laughing like little teenagers.
Wow, I love it. I love it. I love it.
So we're going to have
I would like to say a little bit, or you could say a little bit about July. We know we just entered in.
Yes.
You want to say anything about July, slide 5?
Well, believe it or not, my slide 5 doesn't have that on it. Mine has affirmations. So we have, I know. Yeah, that's okay. We have.
Yeah, because we don't do affirmations on this show.
I know.
So then let me talk about that for a moment.
Okay.
About we're in the month of July, and what's actually special about this month? Okay. Well, it begins with a big bang because we celebrate Independence Day, which is the birth of the nation, and the nation being United States of America. Okay. It's also called the 4th of July, and is celebrated with parades and picnics and fireworks at night. Meanwhile, neighbors are gathering to cook, so many things on the day of celebration. And it's interesting that the 4th of July is America's independence, but if you've been following the news, you will discover that many African Americans consider Juneteenth to be their day of independence, their day of freedom. And I'm sure you know the story. We've covered it for you before, but we'll cover it for you again and again. But back to the month of July. It's also the seventh month of the year. It's in the Julian Gregorian calendar, and it is the fourth of 7 months to have 31 days. Yes, July is one of those 4 months out of the year that have 31 days. It was named by the Roman Senate in honor of Roman General Julius Caesar in 44 BC because July was also the month of his birth. Some interesting facts about July born babies. If you're a July born baby, they tell us that July born babies are optimistic. People born in the month of July are very optimistic. I'll tell you an idiom that I learned years ago, and let's see what you think about it in relationship to optimistic. Okay. A man goes to the window and says, "Good morning, God." Another man goes to the window and say, "Good God, morning." So, being optimistic about things in life. Okay?
I just want to add that Master Moore is a July born baby. And he said, say what you said about July born babies again.
Well, first off, they said that they are very optimistic people. People born in the month of July are very optimistic. So that idiom that I just gave you,
yes,
like somebody going to the window and saying, "Good morning, God."
Yes.
And somebody else going to the same window and saying, "Good God, morning." Yes. So it's how you view it. It's your optimism.
Right.
We also say that July born people are very charming.
That's true. That's true. He's very charming.
July born people are very generous.
He is extremely generous.
Okay. They can be emotional.
He's learned to control his emotions, but underneath, yes. Oh, now if you get to see him fight, yeah, he's real emotional. And people would even say flamboyant.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we're finding that July born people are also very focused.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. He has been in the same business location over 30 years. And you know how tough that can be. Queen Mother was President Clinton's business person of the year out of all the men and women in businesses in America. And so she can be very focused. When you said focused, it's surprising that you're not born in July, because remember when you had to memorize the script for the foundation or landmark?
That's right.
Was it?
It's been so long ago, I don't remember, but it was over 50 or so.
Over 50 pages, had to memorize the whole thing verbatim. We were saying it in the car. We were saying it in, she was in the shower. She was on the phone. We had it on the walls everywhere because she had How long did you have? 2 weeks?
To get the whole thing down. Yeah.
2 weeks only to get more than 50 pages of text memorized. It forced her to focus and taught me how to focus.
Is she born in July?
No, she's not born in July. That's what I'm just saying. No.
Yes.
So what else?
Our energies cross over because we're all human beings. Here's another thing about the July born. Okay. They cherish their loved ones.
Yeah. I give you that too. They tend to have
good self-control.
Yeah.
And last but not least, they say that the July born tend to have a very strong work ethic.
Definitely. He gets up and goes to the gym himself, probably 6 o'clock in the morning. So when I'm here and I wasn't able to drive myself, he'd pick me up in the morning. We'd stop and get tea and a healthy milkshake and then come to the dojo and work out. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, he comes and trains by himself if nobody trains, but there's usually other people to meet him at the dojo or the training hall and train with him. And he does that rain, snow, sleet, or hail, more reliable than the post office itself.
Wow.
Because he's here in Columbus, Ohio. So, it gets cold and it snows.
Yes. Ooh, I wish I would. I would love to have someone in my immediate aura,
Yeah,
like that.
Is it cold there?
he was asking, was it cold there? And we were talking
Well,
a little
well,
earlier,
I can't say to you that Kenya really gets cold,
like here.
but let me say that the cold we feel here is not like the cold that you get in America. It's a
Right.
different kind of cold.
It's the rainy
Okay.
season.
Yeah, right now we're in the rainy season, and it does mean that the sky is gray most days.
Yeah.
The sun did come out for a little while today, but for the most part,
Hmm.
okay, for the very, very, very most part, this week has been very dreary.
And she feels cold, so she's bundled up.
Okay. And I am now, believe it or not, I'm here with a little blanket.
Oh, she's showing us her little blanket she's got on her legs. Yes. Listen, I
Okay.
came out from under my blanket to come to class, but Tanisha
Okay.
keeps it very cold and really prefers it 68 degrees. So I have been in Florida where I like the warm 79, 85 degree temperature. I like the little glisten. It keeps our skin young, but they like it cold. He has the air conditioner on in the dojo, but I've just been working out, so I'm warm. But Rakaya said that it's cold in San Diego, California, where it should be very hot. So
When it's usually a nice,
yeah, our
things
climates
are changing.
changing. But
Yeah, things
yes,
are definitely changing.
you know, those characteristics you described of the July born people, what he does really well is he celebrates every single student birthdays,
Every single.
students' birthdays. He knows all the students by name. And he has classes every day, 4 hours a day, so more than that on some days, but he knows every student and their parents, child, you know, he knows their address, he calls them by name. And it's that personal touch that he's talking about that makes you feel like you're home. So when I decided, when they told me I was dying, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back.
I know where to go.
I know where to go because I knew
Good
we
for you.
see other people. And last time when I was here, they call him Yamashita. I knew him as Ronnie Burgess first, but he also became a world champion. And we got to go visit him in the hospital. Then Master Moore and I attended his homegoing. And then we had another student.
How special.
He'll take people food to their house. We've been to the hospital. We've been to just any place you are, he will come. That's what I can say about him. And it's been a long journey because even though I came here to die, instead my teammate ended up dying unexpectedly, who was younger than myself. But Kiyoshi Wilson was also a champion, also under Master Moore. We've had schools of our own and taught karate. And so I've been invited to Kenya to compete in a tournament when I visit her. So I can't wait to go because they're not used to seeing world champions in person. And I always ask his permission to go places, but he would call me up, Queen Mother, and joke and say, "Where are you? Sign-in's in 10 minutes. I'm in Las Vegas." He said, "I don't see you anywhere. Tell me where you are." I'm thinking, I'm at home in my pajamas, hadn't trained all year. You must be joking. But he's been in my corner for all of my fights all through the years. And weapons and trained me. So when I went to Joplin, Missouri, January of 2020, I turned professional again. I had picked up sponsors and they were absolutely shocked to see two women over 50, both world champions. And Dr. Thompson won 3 events and I won 3 events.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Because of the people we surround ourselves with.
All right.
Yes.
Well, we're going to be looking forward to our, I don't know the proper name to call it yet, but we're just going to right now call it our karate segment, which will be 5 times during this season for 4 minutes. What's that?
Wings. Well, they have slid out and got pizza and wings.
How healthy we are.
He's talking about how healthy we are. Yes, we are healthy. But yes, there's a pizza and some wings. But that's why I told you we're gonna eat stuff, but we don't do anything we don't overdo it.
Okay.
Yep. And now it's just
I am delighted for the show that we're having today. Okay.
Yes.
It's nothing wrong with having a very informal, this is what it is show,
Yes.
which is what we wound up having today. And I am appreciative. I want to thank those who did. I noticed that there were people coming in, tuning in, and there were people giving us shout outs. Thank you very much for tuning in to Bonga Dada Bonga every Thursday, every week, live at 7 p.m. East Africa time, as it is here in Kenya, and 12 noon New York time for this show, Bonga Dada Bonga. Please continue to tune in with us. Next, we're going to bring you something else very wonderful and very different. Nana? And by the way, let me just say that our goal is on this show that you are Teresa R. Kemp, the author.
Yes. Okay.
And you are a correspondent.
Yes.
Or you are a anchor.
Okay.
We choose the words co-host and co-host and co-host for QMS.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. So that is
BDB.
me.
Right. BDB. It is
wear lots
anchor.
of hats.
Right. It's anchor, co-anchor. And what I like to do, Teresa, is on this show, I like for us to be what I call the correspondents. Gotcha. Correspondents fill in.
Yes.
So we will have host and co-host. I'm sorry. We'll have anchors and co-anchors.
And correspondents. Sounds good.
We're the correspondent. We are the correspondents.
Got it.
So when the anchors or the co-anchors cannot show up for a show, the correspondents step in.
Okay. That sounds good.
Okay. And so we've already now given ourselves doing the shows. And I love what we're going to be doing. What is that? Oh, don't do that. Don't do
that. Listen, he's over there laughing. So I wanted you to see what I was laughing about. But
okay, very well.
We love
let's give them our closing goodbye for Bonga Dada Bonga. And we'll see them again next week. And when you put the schedule together, we'll start letting the people know. We'll let them know specifically what time that the karate segment is going to be on, so that they can tune in. And if they want to, they can tune in just to that. And Nana, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, Teresa, I am an author.
We can also choose to pre-record these sessions.
True. I just want to say thank you, Christine, for your comment, because she was saying that she liked the print on your shirt. And I wanted to let him know that he had a comment from our audience. And, when you have changed somebody's life, and, he was telling me, you should be here in Columbus, Ohio, because you're going to live, you're going to have life and life more abundantly. Yeah. And the thing is, it gets real cold here, and I'm a fair weather friend, but they want me to go for another world championship and try out for another world team in July, but I'm not. I'm going to be coaching and training some of his other champions, because I'm going to take it easy and make sure I'm totally healed. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to be a correspondent with Queen Mother on Bonga Dada Bonga, and I look forward to talking with you. Okay. So do we end the show with a lot of love here also? Okay. Well, we want you to know that you're loved, and we want you to tune in. Make sure you go out, like, follow, and share Bonga Dada Bonga, and send in your ideas for the show.
Yes. And we will definitely feature you on Bonga Dada Bonga, Bonga Dada Bonga, Bonga Dada Bonga. Come on, Nana.
Bonga
Dada Bonga, Bonga Dada Bonga, Bonga Dada Bonga Dada Bonga Dada Bonga, Bonga Dada Bonga, Bonga Dada Bonga, Bonga Dada